Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey Podcast, and today's topic is this: teach them to be a host. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Niko, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yep. All right, Dad. So this weekend was a milestone weekend. Well, that's dramatic. I threw a dinner party for the first time in forever, and I believe it might be the first official kind of real dinner party I've thrown in our new place since we created the Dude's House, which is a year ago, which is the milestone. I don't think the dinner party is as much of it. I've had my folks over for dinner. I cook for them. People have obviously been in the house to come visit and say hi, but this is the first official, hey, Saturday night, why don't you come over? I'll cook for you. I'll cook for the boys. Come on over and hang out and we'll have fun. And so I had my best friends, some of my oldest friends. I've known them for almost 20 years, the entire time I've been back in San Diego this go-round, and their boys. And I talked a little bit in another episode about how playing with those older boys was really great for Niko, but the focus of this episode is teaching your kids to be a host. And since this was kind of the first time formally we'd done that, one, because I'm doing it solo, I needed help, but two, I wanted to use it as a teaching moment for Niko to understand what it takes and how to host. So earlier in the day, we had to clean up the house, needed to get a really good once over. It wasn't trash, but it wasn't guest ready, let's just say. So I was doing the heavy cleaning, but Niko is all about, he loves cleaning, and so he was doing the vacuuming, he did the dust bustering, he was putting all of his toys away. In fact, one of the times, his room was just crazy. All the toys are out, and I looked at that, and I'm like, yeah, that's you. You got to clean up your room, because when the boys come over, you're not going to be able to see the floor. You got to be able to do it. And he's like, okay. And I was doing some other stuff, like doing dishes or doing cooking prep or whatever. And I come back in, and I don't remember how long it was, but it was a while. Come back in, and his room is spotless. There's nothing on the floor. Now, he's a kid that knows to put things in its places, and at the same time, I wasn't about to open up that closet, because I'm pretty sure it probably would have just tumbled out and hurt me with all the things. But he did his part in that way. And so that was him learning, okay, when people come over, we got to make sure everything's neat and tidy and that it's clean. And then the other thing was, getting ready when they were about to arrive. I told him, the boys are coming over. He'd met them before, but it was a while ago, and just trying to reference them. And you can show them around, show them your room and your toys and everything. You guys will be able to play, and if they need anything, then they'll ask you, and then you either get it for them or you ask me, if they need it. And he's like, well, what do you mean? They need a cup of water, or they don't know where something is and they don't know where the bathroom is. Then you show them. You show them around, and you're the host. And he's like, okay, I can do that. But then part of it too, and just a simple thing, was we're all ready, and he was kind of wound up, so he was just watching a show before everybody arrived, and that gave me a moment to be able to do a once over again on the house, make sure everything was ready to go, and the last minute cooking stuff was done. But then when they pulled up, it was, okay, Niko, show's over, our guests have arrived. And he's like, no, I just want to finish the end of it. And I'm like, I get that. Push pause, save it for another time, but we're not watching TV when our friends are over. It's time to play. He's like, okay. And he wasn't pissed about it, but, that was another thing of okay, people just walk through the door and you're just staring at a screen. That's not going to happen. So he showed the boys the room. He showed them like where the bathroom was, and I think that the boys thought that was a little weird because our place is not big. You like walked right by the bathroom on his way to the to his room. So it's like, yeah, we saw that. But anyway, it's part of hosting. And then when dinner time came, I'd done all the like cooking stuff and got stuff ready, and then I said, okay, Niko, like it's time for you guys to eat. Why don't you ask the boys where you guys would like to eat? And the first thing is like, let's eat in my room. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. You like here at this table, at the coffee table, or you can eat the big table with us. And then he asked them, what would you like to do? And they chose. And then I said, okay, set the table for them. And he got placemats. He got, I think, a couple of things. And I'm like, all right, there's one thing missing they haven't gotten yet. And he's like, plates. And I said, no, well, yes, plates, but I'm serving everybody, so I'll bring it out there. But there's one other thing. And then he couldn't think of it. I'm like, what if they're thirsty? And he's like, water. So then he went and got them water. And then he helped them clear their plates afterwards and everything. And, I'm still wanting Niko to be a kid. And at the same time, those little things around being a host, clearing plates, helping out, those kind of things, are important to me. And so I want to teach him along the way. And this was a great way of kind of showing this is how the whole picture works. And he didn't get that, like, all the different things I was doing with cooking and making sure that was all prepped. And I didn't do an elaborate meal by any means. I wanted to start simple because it was the first dinner party in a long time. And I used to love entertaining. No, I still love entertaining. I used to do a lot of entertaining. I just haven't in a long time. So I was out of practice. So it took a lot longer than expected. It was a little more stressful than usual because I just needed to get back in the groove. And Saturday night did that. So but it was really fun for me to involve my son in that process and him taking ownership of the event, of having people over in the house, taking ownership of the house, and like, this is our place and we're welcoming people into, and we want to make sure they're welcome, so that you do all those little things like welcome when they come in, offer them a drink, show them around if they don't know around, and then be the kind of point person for them. Like if the boys needed something, they know that even though Niko's younger, it's his house, that they could go to him and he would take care of them. And he did very, very good as a little host. So if you're a dad and you as a family like host a lot, are you the type that the kids are just kind of along for the ride and they have their own meals and they're kind of playing and everything? And obviously they're not shunned, out of sight, out of mind, or should be seen, not heard, all that kind of stuff. But are they involved in the dinner process? Are they involved in the hosting process? If not, maybe it's time to like give them little pieces of that. Maybe it's time to have them see what it's like to host. Because if you're a family that likes to host and have people over, then I would imagine at some point they're going to want to do that as well, because you're modeling that for them. And they're going to want to know, or they're going to need to know how to do that, let alone want to do that, right? So you're giving them those skills as a kid by doing little things at a time. And if you're a family that doesn't host much but would like to, maybe that's something that would be fun and use it as like a teaching tool for the kids as well. But if it's not something that you do at all, the flip side of being a good host is being a good guest. And so teaching Niko, when you're at somebody else's house, it's their rules. You ask first. Everything that's in this house isn't for you to just go and play and touch. And my kid's not really like that 100%. Like, I don't have to worry about him like pulling things off the walls and just grabbing food off of the counter or going in a cabinet and everything. He's just not that kind of kid. I know other kids that are like that. They need a little more, but or a little more guidance in that way when they're a guest. But I think it's important, as well to know how to be a good guest and age appropriate what that means, like saying hello and hi and asking permission and please and thank yous and all that kind of stuff. So these are all great normal life events that then become teaching events and become teaching opportunities for your kids to get a little more world savvy. And becoming a host, becoming a guest are going to be things they're going to be doing a lot of. So the more they can be that polite, welcoming kid, then they're going to be invited more places and they'll get to do a lot more of it. So let me know what you think about that, Dad. Until the next time, though, take good care of yourself, take good care of your family, and we'll connect on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to that episode. Guess what? My dad just formed a new thing. It's called a Slack group.
What's that?
I don't know. But you can find more about it and join if you go to thedadhoodjourney.com. See you there. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.